Sometimes life seems so out of control. On a global level, there are wars and there are fires or tragedies that seem to be so difficult to understand. On the other hand, there have been a lot of simchas and happiness. We've gone to weddings. Our own ability to find a doctor that's been able to take care of Simcha Dov has brought us tremendous amount of comfort. How do we maintain our equilibrium? How do we maintain our emotional balance? Today I would like to share with you a thought that will not address any of these situations specifically, but will hopefully enable us to be able to gain that equilibrium a little bit better, as well as a technique that we can use to enhance our daven. The Medrash says, Al kol neshima v'neshima, for every breath a person takes, they have to be able to praise Hashem and appreciate what Hashem has given them. And where do we see that? The Medrash continues and says, Kol haneshama Tehallel ko. And it quotes the final pasuk of Tehillim that we say every day, Psuki Dezimra, as the last pasuk of the Hallelujahs. And we say, Kol haneshama, the entirety of the neshama will praise Hashem. What's the connection between every breath, which is neshima, and kol haneshama, the entire soul? And yes, they do contain the same letters, but that only increases the question. What's the connection between a person's breath and a person's neshama? Recently, I've been learning some Sifrei Chassidus that have enabled me to have the following thought. That really the person's soul has to be able to utilize the same technique and the same mechanism that we do when we breathe. When a person breathes, the purpose is to be able to bring oxygen into the body, which allows the blood to become oxygenated and then have the energy to go into the body, to all of the limbs, and provide that energy, that oxygen, and that life source. When the oxygen runs out, then the blood needs to return once again to the heart and to the lungs in order to become reoxygenated and to be able to reinvigorate it and to be able to continue its life-giving source. And when a person is in pain, whether it be physical or emotional or psychological, they tend to breathe quickly with very shallow breaths. And that only makes things worse. And they need to be taught to be able to breathe slower, deeper, allow more oxygen to enter the body in order for the person to be able to regain his equilibrium and to be able to deal with the situation that they're experiencing. So too the neshama. The neshama's source is Hashem, is spirituality. But it's been put into a physical body and it's tasked to be able to engage with the physical world, which denies the existence of Hashem. And after a while, it will become depleted of strength. And it needs then to be able to go back to its source, connect in one way or another with its spiritual source, to become reinvigorated and re-energized, and then to be able to go back into the world and engage with the physical world. But when things are difficult, we often to spend more time focusing on the physical world, the physical pain, and we don't always do the things that give us spiritual vitality. So we need to train ourselves when we're feeling tired, exhausted, depressed, feeling, why are we in this world? Why do we bring children into this world? Why are we so challenged? Why are things so hard? That's an indication that we are not breathing properly. And we need to pause deep and be able to breathe deeply, both physically and spiritually. Do the things that we connect with Hashem, where we find spiritual strength. We need to make sure we take care of ourselves spiritually, reinvigorate ourselves, and then be able to engage once again with the world. The technique in davening is to pause after every bracha, particularly after every bracha of Shemona Esrei, where we've asked for things and perhaps we became very engaged in our needs, to breathe deeply and connect back to Hashem and say, okay, I have these needs, but I know it all comes from Hashem. And then breathe out. And if we pause between each bracha, we will find ourselves more connected to Hashem and having the energy then to go forth and pursue those things that we are asking for. And if they don't come, as when we ask for them, we'll have the energy and the spiritual strength to be able to know that Hashem is doing so for a good reason. In conclusion, while we are experiencing life, and sometimes it can be very challenging and very sad, and on other times it can be very positive and very happy, we need to remember to breathe slowly and to connect back with our spiritual sources and to be able to maintain the balance that's necessary. That will enable us to be able to praise Hashem indeed for kol neshima v'neshima, for everything that happens and every breath and every experience that we have. And in that way, kol neshama, our entire souls, will be able to express our appreciation and its recognition of Hashem in the world, and to Tehallel ko, Hallelujah.